rolling tumors to roaring lampooners, the Tigers on a Roll show starts in 3, 2, 1.
War Eagle, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Tigers on a Roll. I am going to be previewing the Auburn at Missouri basketball game tonight. It's the Tigers versus the Tigers, and Auburn heads into Columbia, Missouri to take on the Missouri Tigers. Tip-off is set for tonight at 6 Central, 7 Eastern in Mizzou Arena. And Auburn comes into this game sitting at 10-6 overall and 1-2 in the SEC. And I know that 1-2 is certainly not where we wanted to be 3 games into conference play. But if you look at the context, the overtime loss to Georgia and the 2-point loss to A&M on an overturned buzzer beater, we are essentially 2 possessions away from being 3-0 in the conference. And the difference on Saturday against Arkansas was easily the energy in Neville and the energy that the team brought in both halves. And we saw the team rise to the moment for the fans, which is a new mantra that they're picking up, is they're doing it for the fans. And you finally saw the Auburn Tigers play basketball and click for a full 40 minutes, which we had not seen so far this season. Legitimately, it was probably the first time they played good basketball for a whole game. And now we head into Mizzou Arena, which historically has been a weird place for Auburn to play. It's a quiet arena, and it can lull a player on the court to sleep before Missouri's press wakes you up with a turnover. And Auburn walked in there ranked number 1 in the nation, riding a massive win streak, and they barely escaped with a 55-54 win a couple years ago. And if you go back even further, they went in to Mizzou Arena on February 2020, and Auburn was ranked 11th. And they were feeling good about themselves, and they were certainly playing well. And an unranked Missouri team ran them out of the gym 85-73. So Auburn is walking into potentially a big trap for them, if you can call it a trap, because we might be underdogs now, but we'll get to that. What I want to do is get to some keys to Auburn winning this game. And key number 1 is about Missouri and staying away from Anthony Robinson II. He is, right now, I think he's 3rd in the SEC in steals. He's averaging 2 steals a game. And this is the part of Auburn's game that they need to clean up and keep clean, because Tahad and Magwood have to be strong with the ball when they're facing Robinson. Both our guards can play fast, but they need to play mistake-free, which we have not been doing a great job of over the last couple months. We've been prone to turnovers, especially from Tahad's ball control issues that he's had. And number 2, Missouri is not a high-volume shooting team, but they are 6-0 this season when they make 8 or more threes. And when they make fewer than 8 threes, they're like 6-4, which is very average. Auburn's going to have to chase them off the line and reduce their looks at easy threes. And I think if you hold them under that 8-3 mark, this game is not as high scoring as Vegas thinks it's going to be. And obviously Missouri is going to be a little lost in the way that they want to play offense. And then key number 3 is you've got to feed, obviously, Keyshawn Hall. He is averaging 21 points and 8 rebounds, nearly 8 rebounds a game. And he just dropped 32 on Arkansas. And I think he's like the first player in Auburn's, or the first player in 30 or 40 years or something like that Auburn has had a multi-game 30-point score or whatever it was. I mean, you just got to continue that. You got to continue riding that momentum that he has. And Missouri is giving up 80 points a game against tough, SEC and comparable competition. I don't think, whether or not they're bigger than us, it doesn't matter. I still don't think that they have anyone who can physically match what Hall is able to do if we can get him the ball in the paint. And PS to the list, rebounding is our biggest edge over Missouri tonight. We are averaging like 36 boards, and they are only at about 30. So if Hall and Murphy can control the glass for the Auburn Tigers, we will win. And I want to throw this out to everyone listening. Hit us up on Twitter or leave a comment or whatever. Answer me. Do you trust this team on the road yet? Or is this team, probably still too young to close out tight games away from Neville, which they just dropped one against Georgia a couple weeks ago? What do you think? Let me know what you think. And I'll be sure, if you do comment, I will get back to you on that one. Because I said it on the remote cast, and I said it afterwards on X, Twitter, whatever. Auburn, I think, did find their mojo, and I think that their identity, they're starting to ride, what their DNA, what they're made of, and they're riding it up to a peak kind of at the right time. That's my thought on it. And I think they looked really good against Arkansas, and I don't think it's a fluke. Which brings me to the prediction for tonight. I checked the lines this morning, and Vegas basically has this game as a pick'em. At least most books do that I looked at. And it was like Auburn 1.5, like Auburn 1.5, 1.1, I think I saw somewhere. Like if you look hard enough, you could have found Auburn at 1.5 favorite. And the over-under is sitting really high at 154.5 points. So they're expecting a shootout, a high-scoring shootout. And I think that happens. But I also think that Auburn's offense and their defense, hopefully, I do think their offense for sure will travel after finding their mojo against Arkansas. And they're going to start a winning streak. And I'd say we score 87 points, right in line with our average. And Missouri only allows 71 on average, but they have not played an offense like ours when Auburn's offense is playing like it's supposed to. And the defensive intensity that Auburn brought against Arkansas was not a fluke. I'm telling you, it was not a fluke. That was Stephen Pearl's identity starting to take hold. And I'm locking in on Auburn at a 1-point favorite if I can find it right now. That is like my best bet. And I think that Tahad Pettiford brings his best, as he tends to do away from home, and he hits some big shots late. If he doesn't foul out, he hits some big shots late, and that is going to be the difference maker at the end of that game to get us on top. And Auburn walks out of Columbia with a win. And if you can't find that line, those odds anymore, because like I said, I heard that the line was moving just before I recorded, then take Auburn as an underdog and sweat it out. Because I'm taking Auburn in this one, and I think it's going to be a high-scoring affair. And I hate to do it to you. We're booging right now. But I do think Auburn wins on the road, and I think it's Auburn 81, Missouri 77. And I think the Auburn Tigers, get back to 500 in the SEC, and it sets them up for a huge showdown with South Carolina this weekend, which I will obviously preview. And that is going to do it for today's preview show. Make sure you're subscribed here on the channel if you're seeing it for the first time, and hit the like button whenever you're watching it, and share it with a fellow Tiger. An Auburn Tiger, hopefully, but tonight maybe a Missouri Tiger if you want to rub it in his face if we do win. And if you're a bunch of Missouri fans, then send it around and make fun of me. I don't care. We're booging right now. I think Auburn found their mojo, and it's not going to be any different tonight. And I will be back tomorrow, Thursday, hopefully celebrating a road dub In the meantime, folks, enjoy the game. I believe you can find it on ESPN2 and SEC Network tonight. I appreciate y'all tuning in and watching. Shout out to the sponsors of the show, Brahma Marketing, and the Orlando Auburn Club. Appreciate you guys. Like I said, War Damn Eagle. I'll see you.